Out of nowhere, I feel someone grab my arm, and there's a pair of eyes looking right at me, and my arm is in its mouth. Hey everyone, welcome to A Life Adventurous. My name is Pierce, and I'm broadcasting from the Gear Closet, where every great adventure starts. And I guess if you clicked on the video, you saw that today I'm talking about the time I got bit by a shark. Now, before you go blowing up the comments, I'm not comparing myself to Bethany Hamilton. I don't have any missing limbs or digits. I don't even have any cool battle scars, but it is a strange story. Now, a little bit of backstory. Shortly after I graduated college, I was offered a job to manage a bike shop and race in triathlons, which I really like both of those things. The job was in Montauk, New York. For those of you that don't know the geography real well, Montauk is located on the very eastern tip of Long Island, 100 miles out from New York City. It's known for fishing, for surfing, for triathlons, and the mountain biking is actually pretty good. Now, one side note, fate is not without a sense of irony, because in the movie Jaws, the character Quint was based off of the fisherman and real-life shark hunter Frank Mundus, who happened to live in Montauk, New York. Fun fact. So one day at work, I call up my surf buddy. I said, "Hey, Tim, there's a swell down at Terrace. Do you want to hit it up?" And he said, "Well, I have to work. I might be able to get off early, but just go ahead without me. I'll see if I can catch up a little bit later." So I waxed up my board and then headed out to Terrace. It's just a little shore break, very conveniently located in town. Got to the beach, paddled out, caught a few waves. It was super mellow that night, nothing too big. In between sets, I'm just floating there, looking out at the horizon at the beautiful colors that evening and contemplating my meager existence. When, out of nowhere, I feel someone grab my arm. Now, when I say someone grab my arm, imagine the strongest person you know, probably a mountain climber, coming up behind you and grabbing your arm as tightly as possible. That's what I felt. Now, this all happens in like a second, but my mind immediately assumes Tim just paddled out, snuck up behind me and grabbed my arm, because we would do that sometimes, sneak up on each other. And so I turn around. Tim's not there. I immediately look down, and there's a pair of eyes looking right at me, and my arm is in its mouth. My immediate reaction is boom, boom, 2 punches to the nose. It lets go, turns around, and swims away. Now, it was probably around 4-ish feet long, maybe a little bit longer. And I look back down at my arm, and in my neoprene wetsuit, there's an indent. Probably about that big. It didn't pierce the wetsuit, and I didn't feel like I was bleeding or anything, but I was a little bit shaken up. And probably at this point, any of you would have the good sense to call it a night. Ladies and gentlemen, I did not have the good sense to call it a night. I mean, I wasn't hurt or bleeding or anything, and the swell was still pretty good that night, so I decided to stay out for a little longer. So I catch maybe 1 or 2 more waves, and then when I'm sitting in between sets again, looking back out at the horizon, I feel a boom on the back of my surfboard. It was finally time to call it a night. I turn around, start paddling as quickly and quietly without making a splash as I can. I was like Gollum paddling his little boat. Just get me out of here, get me out of here, get me out of here. I get back to the shore, high step out of the shallows. I'm on the beach. I'm safe. I look down the beach to where 2 other guys had been surfing. They had already gotten out, so they were safe. And I went home. Now, to this day, I couldn't even tell you with absolute certainty 100% what species it was, but after talking to some friends and some locals and doing some Googling, we're 99.9% sure it was a young nurse shark. Nurse sharks aren't particularly aggressive, but they have been known to bite people from time to time. They have smaller mouths and shallower teeth, and they tend to crush their prey rather than to rip and tear at it. So if it was a young enough shark, it would have had a pretty strong grip, but not necessarily made it through my wetsuit, and I feel pretty lucky because of that. Anyway, it is a strange story, but have any of you ever been bit by an animal while doing an outdoor activity? Mosquitoes don't count. Leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear about it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay frosty, and we'll see you out there.